These people are amongst the greatest quiz players in Britain. Together, they make up the Eggheads, arguably the most formidable quiz team in the country. The question is, can they be beaten? Welcome to Eggheads, the show where a team of 5 quiz challengers pit their wits against possibly the greatest quiz team in Britain. They are the Eggheads. And taking on the awesome might of our quiz Goliaths today are the Silverdalians from Lancashire. Now, this team of friends all attend a weekly quiz in their home village of Silverdale. They're usually on separate teams, but they put aside their rivalries today to tackle the Eggheads. Let's meet them.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm 70 years old, and I'm a retired teacher.
Hi, I'm Nigel. I'm 48 years old, and I'm an IT company director.
Hi, I'm David. I'm 57 years old and a retired retail manager.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm 48. I'm a solutions manager.
Hi, I'm Steve. I'm 51. I'm a database administrator.
Dave and team, welcome. Good to see you. So, same quiz, different teams normally, is that right?
That's right, yes.
How did you choose each other?
We meet on a Thursdays with our respective teams, and we put a team together to challenge the Eggheads.
Fantastic. And you all come from Silverdale.
Yes, it's a fabulous village.
Tell us about Silverdale.
Well, we have our church, our school, our post office, our butcher, baker, candlestick maker. It's just a unique place to live. OK, well, let's see if it's a unique place to quiz as well and see what you can do to the Eggheads today. Good luck to you. Every day there is £1,000 worth of cash up for grabs for our challengers. However, if they fail to defeat the Eggheads, the prize money rolls over to the next show. So, Silverdalians, the challengers actually won the last game, which at least proves it can be done. And that means £1,000 says you can't beat the Eggheads today. The first head-to-head battle is on the subject of sport. Who would like this? I think we're generally agreed on...
I guess that's going to be me,
Yeah.
That'll be me, Jeremy.
OK, Steve, against which Egghead? Any one of them?
I think Daphne.
No, that's not bad, is it? You're good at sport.
I keep getting the killer question, like Japanese women wrestlers.
OK, Steve from the Silverdalians versus Daphne from the Eggheads on sport. And to ensure there's no conferring, please take your positions in the question room. So, Steve, I'm assuming you've chosen sport because you are one of the team captains of Silverdale's cricket teams.
Yeah, I've always been interested in sport. I love my cricket. I'm only captain of the second team. Unfortunately, I'm getting a bit too old now. OK, well, let's see how you do, Steve. Your choice on sport, first or second? I'd like to go first, please, Jeremy.
OK, the first set of questions for you, Steve. Here we go. What coloured top has been customarily worn by Tiger Woods during the final round of major golf tournaments? Is it blue, white or red?
I also watch a lot of golf, actually, and I know that in the final round, he does like to wear the same colour. He also gets a little bit annoyed when other players playing with him wear that colour. He always wears a red top, Jeremy.
He does always wear a red top, you're right. Daphne, in which US state is the Arthur Ashe Stadium the venue for tennis's US Open finals? Is it Florida, Arizona or New York?
Well, the finals are always held in New York, so must be New York.
New York is quite right. Back to you, Steve. Which diver competed with Tom Daley to come fourth in the 10-metre synchronised platform event at the 2012 Olympic Games? Is it Peter Waterfield, Adam Brown or Scott Brash?
Diving's not really my sport. I'm not too sure on this one. Scott Brash doesn't really sound right. I think the name Peter Waterfield, so I'm going to go for that one.
Peter Waterfield is correct. I wondered if it was the presence of water in the surname that drew you there.
It could be, yes.
Sort of subconsciously, maybe, yeah. Anyway, it was handy, if so. Daphne, which contact sport is known as the science or art of 8 limbs? Thai boxing, Vietnamese wrestling, or Korean sumo?
Well, I know in Thai boxing they can use their feet, so maybe it's Thai boxing. I don't know.
Thai boxing is your answer? You made a comment earlier about the problem with sport is Japanese wrestling.
Yes.
And that it's come up in various forms.
Oh, it's not Vietnamese wrestling.
No, I thought that might lead you astray. It is actually Thai boxing.
Oh.
You've yet again played in a very Daphne-like way. A little bit of Miss Marple coming out. Followed the clue. OK, Steve, your question. Which footballer made his debut in 1982 and won a record 92 Welsh caps? Was it Terry Orth, Neville Southall or Mike England?
1982, that's a bit late for Terry Yorth and for Mike England, and that sounds about right to me for Neville Southall.
Yeah, what position did he play?
He's goalkeeper.
Absolutely, Neville Southall is right. And was he, Tremendous Knowledge Dave, you'll know this was Everton, was it?
Everton, yeah.
Yeah, for a long
Football of
time.
the year in 1985.
Very good. Now, Daphne, if you get this wrong, you're out. The Brownlow Medal is awarded every year to the fairest and best player in the league. In which sport? Is it baseball, Australian rules football, or lacrosse?
I do know this. It's Australian rules football.
Australian rules football is right. Well done. 3 out of 3. So, well, you did as well as you possibly could, and it still wasn't quite good enough, Steve, at this stage to knock her out. But maybe you'll be lucky in sudden death. You know what happens now?
Yes.
I don't give you alternative answers. Here we go. Which tennis player, winner of 8 Grand Slam singles titles, was appointed as Andy Murray's coach in 2011?
Well, I know Andy Murray had a lot of problems with the mental side of winning Grand Slams, and the player in question, or the ex-player in question, is very strong mentally. It's Ivan Lendl.
Ivan Lendl is quite right. Brilliant tennis player as well. OK, Daphne, to stay in, which European golfer won the PGA of America's Player of the Year award in 2012?
Rory McIlroy.
Rory McIlroy is quite right. Doing very well. She's hard to shake off, Steve, isn't she?
Yes, she is, yes.
Here's your question. Before New Zealand in 2011, which was the last country to win the Rugby Union World Cup as the host or co-host nation?
I would have to say that would probably be South Africa.
Yeah, do you know which year it was?
1997.
95, but you're right. South Africa's the right answer. Sudden death continues. Daphne, you have to get this one right. Which English football club is nicknamed the Bantams?
I can't remember. I know it's a northern club. Oh, but no, I'm going to have a guess, but I'm sure it's not right. Barnsley.
Oh, you're so close. Barry?
Bradford City.
Bradford City. Do you know why, Barry?
Is a bantam chicken the same colour as Bradford strip?
Yeah, the claret and amber strip apparently the same colour as the plumage of a bantam. Bradford City, Daphne.
I knew it.
I think it was just jumbled up in your brain, yeah.
Yes.
I was certain you were going to get it because you normally scoop it out of somewhere. But you haven't, and that means you've been knocked out, I'm afraid. Daphne, well done, Steve. You're in the final round.
Thank you.
Please, both of you, rejoin your teammates. So, really good start for the Silverdalians because they have not lost a brain from the final round yet, and the Eggheads have lost Daphne, who's a very, very good player, as we know. The next subject is film and television. Who would like this?
I think we agree.
Yeah.
Nigel.
That's going to be me.
Nigel, OK. Against which Egghead, Nigel? Can't be Daphne.
Chris. Chris.
Yes.
Chris?
Yes. Get rid of another good one.
Against Chris, please.
OK, so Nigel from the Silverdalians versus Chris on film and TV. Please go to the question room now. So we are on film and television. And Nigel, you can choose the first or the second set of questions.
I'll take the first questions, please.
Here we go, good luck. Who did the EastEnders character Dot Cotton marry in 2002? Was it Tyler Moon, Jim Branning or Patrick Truman?
I haven't watched EastEnders for years, but I think the name Jim Branning's leaping out at me, so I'm going with Jim Branning.
Well, hopefully, if you were watching it 11 years ago, you will have seen the right episode, because you're right. Jim Branning is correct. Impressive play. Judith would have been onto that like a shot. She loves her EastEnders. Chris, your question. Which TV quiz show was hosted by Bamber Gascoigne between 1962 and 1987? Is it Mastermind, Ask the Family, or University Challenge?
It still feels all wrong not to see him still doing it. It was University Challenge, Jeremy.
It was University Challenge. And he does look, the actual image of the guy who looks like he knows all the answers. OK, Nigel, your question. Darren Stevens, played by Dick York and then Dick Sargent, was a central character in which US TV series? Is it Bewitched, The Little House on the Prairie, or Ally McBeal?
I'm actually old enough to remember the change, or at least perhaps on some of the repeats. It was Bewitched.
Impressive, it was indeed. Bewitched. Chris, Ryan Gosling, Sean Penn and Josh Brolin starred in which film released in the UK in January 2013? Is it Fraud Squad, Gangster Squad, or Burglary Squad?
That is Gangster Squad, Jeremy.
Gangster Squad is correct. Doing well. Third question to you, Nigel. Impressive play on both sides here. Who starred as Mark Rutland in the 1964 Hitchcock film Marnie? Is it Sean Connery, Roger Moore, or George Lazenby?
Ooh. I can't say I've ever seen the film. Nothing's leaping out at me on this one. I'm going to go for George Lazenby, but there's no logic behind the answer.
Any Eggheads know?
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery is the answer. Chris, your question, this for the round. Timmy Time is a spin-off from which children's TV series? In the Night Garden, The Tweenies, or Shaun the Sheep?
Yeah. Don't ask me how I know this, but it's Shaun the Sheep.
It is indeed Shaun the Sheep. Chris, well done. You got all 3 out of 3. So, Nigel, I'm sorry, the last answer has cost you your place in the final. Chris will be in it and you won't. Please, both of you, rejoin your teams and we'll play on. So you've lost 1 each. How are we feeling, Dave?
Reasonably confident.
That's good. That's very good. Silverdale is confident, we can report. The next subject is geography. Which Silverdalian would like this?
That's me, is it?
I'm afraid it's David.
That's me.
Yeah. David, OK. Yep. Which Egghead would you like to take on? Can't be Chris or Daphne, of course.
I think I'll take Tremendous Knowledge Dave.
OK, so 2 Daves. This often happens. We have Kevins and Barrys, and now we've got 2 Davids in the question room together. David from the Silverdalians, Dave from the Eggheads. Please take your positions. So, David, I'm wondering if we've reached the key moment in the game here. You've lost 1, the Eggheads have lost 1. What's going to happen now?
I don't know. The boys have done good, though.
They've done well. Yeah. And you like geography?
I do, yes, indeed. Like travel.
Yeah, I was going to say, where have you been?
Oh, I've been fortunate enough to go quite a lot of places. I've been to many countries in Africa, been to Antarctica, I've been to Southeast Asia a fair bit. So, yeah, I've been around. OK, against Tremendous Knowledge Dave on geography. David, would you like to go first or second? I'll go first also. Here is your first question. Which island of Japan is regarded as the mainland? Is it Kyushu, Shikoku, or Honshu? I know all 3 islands. I can't say I've ever known any of them being known as the mainland. But certainly the main island is not Kyushu or Shikoku. I think the answer is Honshu. Honshu is correct. OK, Dave, your question. The Thelwall Viaduct carries which motorway across the Manchester Ship Canal? M4, M6 or M11?
Yeah, M6.
M6 is the right answer. Dave, you won't be surprised to know you got it right.
Oh, thank you for that one.
Your friends and family would have been very amused if you got it wrong.
Oh, dearie me. Million hits on YouTube.
Yeah. David, your question. Which of these is a name given to the southern part of the Aegean Sea? Is it the Sea of Kefalonia, the Sea of Corfu, or the Sea of Crete? Well, they're all islands and they're all fairly south. I think Crete is more south than Corfu. Kefalonia is next to Zante, where I have been, so I should know. I think I'm going to go for Crete. Yes, you're right. Sea of Crete it is. Very good play. I'm sensing an impressive team here. Tremendous knowledge, Dave. The Strait of Messina separates the mainland of Italy from which island? Is it Sicily, Malta, or Corsica?
Sicily.
Sicily is correct. Okay, 2 points each. David, the flag of Burkina Faso features a 5-pointed yellow star on a background of 2 horizontal stripes of what colour? Black and red and green, or green and black?
Well, as you were reading it out, I was thinking green was one of them. So simply because that came into my head first, I'll discount black and red, probably wrongly. I think I'm going to go down the middle for red and green.
Brilliant play, you're right. Red and green. Okay, Dave, this to stay in. What is the capital of the Chiriquí province of Panama? Is it Martin, Victor, or David?
I've got no idea. It'd be ironic if Dave knocked me out and it was David, but I'm not going to go resist that temptation. But I'll go Martin.
On the basis that that's not your name?
Yeah.
The answer is David. Questions were put together before you two chose each other, so it's pure coincidence. But well done to David. How about that? You've knocked Dave out on a question to which the answer was David. It couldn't be more fitting. Never happened before. You're in the final round, David.
Thank you.
And Dave, you're not.
I know.
Please, both of you, return to your teams. So Dave was just knocked out by David on a question to which the answer was David. That hasn't happened before, has it?
No.
Daphne, one day Daphne will knock you out on a question to which the answer is Daphne.
No,
I
I
don't
think
so.
I know all the answers to Daphne.
Yes, where Daphne is there, you will choose it.
Yes.
Yes, OK. As it stands, the Silverdalians have lost 1 brain from the final round, but they're now playing very, very well. The Eggheads have lost 2. So you're just beginning to assert dominance here. And remember, they're coming off the back of a loss, so they may be feeling fragile. The next subject is history. Which Silverdalian would like this?
Do you want to do that one, David? Because you're nearest to it.
I know nothing about history.
In that event, that looks like that's going to be me. Yeah.
Yes, Steve?
So that will be me, I'm afraid, yeah.
OK. Steve from the Silverdalians against which
What would you
Egghead?
recommend? You've done the study.
Barry, maybe. That would be a good one to lose on. Barry.
You would you say that?
Come on, Steve, there are only 3 of them left.
Yeah, in that case, we shall try Barry.
OK, it's going to be Steve against Barry. And the subject is history. Let's see how you do. Please, both of you, to avoid any conferring, go to the question room. So, Steve, I'm trying to work out how you've ended up doing history when your hobby is to read science fiction novels.
I'm kind of wondering the same thing myself, to be honest, but here we are.
So you're reading about the future and you need to read about the past.
Yeah, I obviously got the wrong book for the train, I think, but there we go.
Barry, are you more of a science fiction man or more of a Henry VIII man?
Oh, both, actually. I enjoy both genres.
What have you read that in science fiction that you've loved?
I tend to like reading the Hugo and Nebula winners. They're the ones who win the main prizes in science fiction, and they're always cracking good reads.
Steve, how about you?
I'm a fairly major fan of Isaac Asimov, who's a very prolific author, both in terms of fiction and non-fiction work. And more recently, Greg Bear is a tremendous author, I think. OK, I feel bad. We're talking about the year 3000, and we're going to probably go back to 1540. Let's see how we do on history. Here we go. You versus Barry. Steve, do you want to go first or second? I think I shall go second, if that's OK.
OK, let's see if your team can keep up the pressure on the eggs, see if they crack. In which US city did the St. Valentine's Day massacre take place in 1929? Barry, is it Atlanta, Boston, or Chicago?
I think the famous comment on this one was by one of the reporters who came there, who said there were more brains on the floor than in his head, and it took place in Chicago.
Chicago is the right answer. Steve, your question. Which year of the 20th century is sometimes referred to as the year of 3 popes? Is it 1958, 1968, or 1978?
Heavens. There was a very short-lived papacy of John Paul I. That was certainly within my time, so I would go 78.
Yep, you're bang on. 78 is correct. Well done. Your question, Barry. In Russian history, false Dmitri is the name given to three men who challenged the leadership of Boris Godunov, claiming to be the son of which former ruler? Is it Ivan the Terrible, Nicholas I, or Catherine the Great?
Well, I do know this one because my daughter had the great privilege of singing Mussorgsky's opera, Boris Godunov, at the Albert Hall. So I knew quite a bit about this history, and the false Dmitri claimed to be the son of Ivan the Terrible. Nicholas I and Catherine the Great are much too late.
Ivan the Terrible is quite right. Well done, Barry. Good answer. Always good to bring the music back. Here we go with your question, Steve. Which Scottish king came to the throne at the age of 17 months in 1513? Is it David II, Malcolm III, or James V?
Oh, heavens. I'm going to have to eliminate James V on the basis that there was a James VI much later, so I'm hoping it's not that. Malcolm and a David. I can't really toss a coin on this one, but we had a David in the previous answer, so I'm going to go for the middle one in this instance, purely as a guess. Malcolm III.
See if Barry knows. Barry?
No, 1513 is a terrible date in Scottish history because it was the date of the Battle of Flodden, where the cream of the Scottish aristocracy were killed. And James IV was the king who was killed then, so it would be his son, James V, who came to the throne at that early age.
There we are. James V is the answer. Very small king. Cried a lot. Your question, Barry, if you get this one right, you're in the final round. Who was British Prime Minister when the Crimean War ended? Is that the Duke of Wellington, Viscount Palmerston, or Earl Grey?
Well, Earl Grey was Prime Minister around the 1830s, and the Crimean War was around the 1850s. I think the Duke of Wellington died in 1852, so the answer would be Viscount Palmerston.
Very exact logic, and you're quite right, Barry. Viscount Palmerston is the answer. You've taken the round. They are playing well. You're doing well, challengers, but the Eggheads are not letting up here. So, Steve, I'm sorry you've been knocked out. You won't be in the final round. Barry will. And if you both come back to us, we will play that final. So this is what we have been playing towards. It is time for the final round, which, as always, is general knowledge. But I'm afraid those of you who lost your head-to-heads won't be allowed to take part in this round. So that's Nigel and Steve L. from the Silverdalians, and also Dave and Daphne, the two Ds from the Eggheads. Would you please leave the studio? So here we are, Dave, David and Steve W. You're playing to win the Silverdalians £1,000. And a lot of attention for Silverdale, which is overdue. You are up against three Eggheads here who are playing for something far more precious, which is their reputation. As usual, I'm going to ask each team 3 questions in turn. This time the questions are all general knowledge. You are allowed to confer. So, Silverdalians, the question is, are you able with your 3 brains to defeat the Eggheads 3 over here? And would you like to go first or second?
We'll go first.
Dave and team, good luck to you. What number does the prefix milli represent in words such as millipede? Is it 10, 100, or 1,000?
It's 1,000, isn't it? You sure about this? Yeah. Absolutely sure. OK. We think it's 1,000.
You were checking forcibly there.
Yes.
Understand why. 1,000 is right. Well done. Eggheads. The acronym GATT for an economic agreement originally signed in the 1940s stood for General Agreement on Tariffs and what?
Trade.
Is it trade, tickets, or tourism?
Trade.
Trade, yeah, definitely.
That's trade, Jeremy.
General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, you're right. OK, second question to you. Which Conservative politician delivered a report known as No Stone Unturned in Pursuit of Growth in 2012? Is it Norman Lamont, Michael Heseltine, or Leon Britton?
That was Heseltine.
That
was Heseltine. Absolutely.
He was commissioned for it on the year.
Yeah. Yeah. It was Michael Heseltine.
Michael Heseltine is the right answer. Eggheads, which American actress is one half of the recording duo She and Him? Is that Greta Gerwig, Zooey Deschanel, or Anne Hathaway?
I can't believe it's Anne Hathaway.
Of those 3, for no particular reason, Zooey Deschanel occurred to me, but I don't know anything.
Occurred to me as well, but I don't know why.
Greta Gerwig.
I've never heard of Greta Gerwig.
I've heard nothing about Anne Hathaway being a singer.
No, she was a singer in Les Mis, but I don't think she's in any group or anything. For no reason at all, I'm inclined to think Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, it's a bit of a concern, though. We don't actually know it. What do you think? Will we go for that?
Yeah.
We're very unclear about this one, but on balance, we're going to go for Zoe Deschanel.
And Zoe Deschanel is correct. Oh, they're playing for their pride here, the Eggheads. They've got to, as far as they're concerned, they've got to put back a bit of a run together, having been defeated in the last game. If you get this one right, you put some pressure on. The Ograbis Falls are a feature of which African river? Limpopo, Zambezi, or Orange?
Gold, something gold.
Yeah.
Well, Victoria Falls is on the Zambezi.
Yes.
So, but it might also be on there.
Okay,
but the Zambezi is quite shallow until it hits the.
Yeah.
It's not a big rake on it until it hits the.
So draw the geography.
The Orange. The Orange River is farther south, isn't
further
it?
south, yeah. But gold is a bit. Oh, it was AU.
Yeah.
It was spelled AU, so
Yeah.
a gold reference, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
So, but Limpopo is higher up, certainly.
The gold is actually mined in the southern part.
Exactly.
I think. Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, do you think that's a logic or not?
Yeah.
Go for it.
We're going to go for the Orange, Jeremy.
Yes, you got it right.
Yes, thought we might.
On the basis of it being...
AU
gold.
Oh, I see.
Gold mined
Gold
in the
further
southern
south.
part.
Great quizzing. Great quizzing. Well done. Oh, they're strong challengers, aren't they? Here we go, Eggheads. If you get this wrong, you've been beaten again. Annabelle Lee is a poem by which American writer? Walt Whitman, T.S. Eliot, or Edgar Allan Poe?
Definitely Poe.
That's Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe is the right answer, Eggheads, so it's 3 points each. We go to sudden death. You know how it works. I don't give you alternative answers. Here we go, Silverdalians. Everyone in the village is watching. The novelist Margaret Drabble, the businessman Peter Stringfellow, and the actor Dominic West were all born in which Yorkshire city?
So somebody's right.
I think it's
So
Leeds.
Sheffield.
Drabble, she's Michael Holroyd's wife, I think. Yeah, I think we're
Am I saying
talking
Leeds?
Leeds.
I would say
Yeah,
Leeds.
well-
yeah.
We're going for Leeds.
As soon as I saw this question, I had the immediate thought Leeds, and I'm nearly always wrong. The answer is Sheffield.
I thought it was Leeds.
And that was my first answer.
Sheffield. Ah, you're running them close, but you've given them a chance now on sudden death. If the Eggheads get this right, the contest is over. Members of the Red Hat sect are followers of which religion? Eggheads.
The Tibetan Buddhists.
Yeah.
So Buddhism.
Definitely Buddhism. Yeah.
That's Buddhism.
Well, credit to Barry for giving us extra information, which was correct. It's Tibetan Buddhism. So on sudden death, we have to say congratulations, Eggheads. You have won. And you played really well.
Yes, we did.
Bad luck, but a great quizzing team.
Thank you.
Seriously. I thought you came close there, Eggheads, didn't you?
Very strong team.
Yeah. Commiserations, Silverdalians. The Eggheads have done what comes naturally to them. They reign supreme over Quizland once again. I'm afraid that means you won't be going home with the £1,000. So the money rolls over to our next show. Eggheads, congratulations. Who will beat you? Join us next time to see if a new team of challengers have the brains to defeat the Eggheads. £2,000 says they don't. Till then, goodbye.